What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from Brian's Custom Auto, coming at you today with the next part on the Harley Davidson F-150. Now, where I just left off at is the video that's uploading right now. Today is Sunday, so normally I don't work on Sundays. I just upload a video on Sunday, but today I have to because we have to have the casting number off the heads on this truck. So at this point, you already know I got the camshafts out. I put the caps back on in their spots where they go. Not that it matters now, but in order to get the heads off, we've got to take all the supercharger off, alternator, valley pan, intake, and everything. And then we got to get down there somehow and get those manifolds off as well. Now, hopefully I won't jinx myself by saying this, but luckily everything on this truck has come apart pretty easy. Now, a couple videos ago when we took the supercharger off and cleaned it, I showed y'all how to do that. So we're just going to zip through this real quick. Guys, we've been hard at it. You see I got my bags out. Got no bolts in there because they're all bagged up. But we're down to the plenum, plenum, intake, however you want to put that particular thing, because we got the supercharger, air exchanger, everything loose. All the vacuum lines are off. Fuel rails are off, fuel injectors are out, coil packs are out. So now we got to get all them 10mm bolts all the way around that off, and then that'll take care of the intake, and then we can move on to the exhaust manifold and then the head. So that's what we're doing. So I'm gonna zap all them bolts out, bag them up, and all the bolts that are put back in, as you can see. Guys, I always say this, and I will continue to say this. We'll probably go ahead and change that water pump while we're right here at it too. But I will always say this. If you can put the bolt back in the hole where it goes, do that. Because if there's any possibility whatsoever that you can get it mixed up, you will. Don't believe me? Try it. Anyway, so let's get that zapped off here, and we'll start moving on from there. Guys, we got all the bolts out. It doesn't seem like that was near enough bolts. I mean, I don't know if maybe this water neck bolt goes all the way through to the head. Maybe it does. Actually, let me go ahead and pull that out and see. Hang on. Let's see. Maybe it does. I just don't know on this. Huh. Well, I guess it does. I knew something seemed off because that side had more bolts. All right, so yeah, let's do this. Get my bag out, y'all. All right, got them bagged up over there now. Now, let's see if I can lift this off. Didn't think so. All right, let me get a pry bar. Now, let's see. We're gonna go right here on this edge, maybe on that edge. Let's see. Ooh, I hear liquid dripping out. So that side's kind of loose. Let's see about this side here. All the bolts are out, guys. Something holding it on the front. I found it. That second bolt right there goes all the way through to the head too, and actually goes into oil. It was all oiled down. Anyway, so now we can pull this nice pretty aluminum intake off. All right, let's get it out of there. There it is. Now let's see what we're looking at. All kind of lines. All right, so there's the supercharger return line, I guess, or the recirculation line that goes under the intake into the back of the water pump. That's crazy. But anyway, so there's that part. Slowly chipping our way down, guys. So we will clean all that out and all that. In the meantime, I'm gonna start pulling push rods and rockers and all that stuff out, And that's gonna do it for tonight. So I'll bring y'all back tomorrow. All right, we out here next morning. Got a massive headache today for some reason, but we are getting started by, I'm gonna jack up the truck, pull this wheel off so I can get inside there to get to the exhaust manifold bolts. Oh, on a positive note, we ordered a set of headers for it last night. So the exhaust manifolds are not going back on this. What in the world happened there? That was crazy. Anyway, so we're gonna pull this wheel off and get the exhaust manifolds loose. I'll get this manifold loose, put this wheel back on, then do the other side. If it fights me too hard, guess what? We'll cut it. And reason being is because, like I said, we ordered a very nice set of long tube headers for this thing yesterday. So they're on the way. But I have to get at least this one head off so I can get the casting number off of it, so I can call this company CHI and tell them which ones I've got, so that way I can get a set of heads on the way. So yeah, let's go from there. All right, guys, we're steady at it here. Got the truck jacked up, got the wheel off, took that little inside panel off, and now we're trying to get the bolts out of the manifold. So we're working on it. It's coming slow, ladies and gents. We got the first head off on the driver's side. Now I got to reach down in there. Now I'm sure you can wiggle that manifold out if you want to continue to fight with it. But I knew I was taking that head off. So since I was taking this head off, I just moved that out of the way until I got the head off. Now I can reach down and grab that like this. Well, daggone. Oh, that's heavier than the head. All right. And then we set this down here. And now that that's out of the way, we'll move over and get this side knocked off, and then clean up them pistons, get the water out of them. And no, the head gasket's not blown, guys. The water's in there simply because you pulled the head. Your Ford Lightning or Harley Davidson or whatever, there's a place called Cylinder Head International. Okay, now that's who I ordered the new heads from. They're remanufactured heads. Okay, but as opposed to Trick Flow heads, the cheapest I found was $1,150 per head for this engine. Okay, and they really don't flow that much more, you know, not enough to make that much of a difference. So $1,150 for Trick Flow, okay, versus $400 for a new set of heads from Cylinder Head International with new valves, new everything. So I think I know what the better option is there. Also, since we have the new cams from the Lightning, depending on how the heads come, now from what I understand, these heads come completely ready to go, set on the truck, bolt them down, plug and play. But if I have to put the cams on there, that's fine too. I've got that new set of Ford Lightning cams to go in there. Now granted, I know the Ford Lightning cams are no different than what was already in this truck, but with the extra stuff that we're doing to it, it will make a difference. So anyhow, let me knock this other head off here real quick, guys, and I'll bring it back in just a minute. All right, guys, been busy, but we are finally at a stopping point for today. All right, we are down to the block. Yep. One head, two head, manifold. Piston walls look pretty good. Now, what we did find is bent valves, which I would assume probably came from the timing being off. And yes, yes, but barely a touch on the pistons. So since the pistons are not cracked and all that, it obviously did not shatter the pistons, and I'm thankful for that. We're in good shape there. So, yeah. Look, there's a little bit of piston wall wear there, but there's no, you can't feel none of that, so it's all good. We're gonna be able to rock out with it and get this back together. The guy that owns this truck, I know he might drive it a little spirited, but he's not gonna be out there, you know, drag racing it and stuff like that. But there's the passenger side, which has been the bad side since day one. Here's the driver's side. So, see, not really much difference. You know, 180,000 miles on it. But it's okay. Now, we're going to get cleaning up this engine, making it look better. It's going to be a brand new engine by the time it goes back together, which is fine. Because it's going to be an awesome ride, I believe. Anyhow, so that's that. And you can say bye to those guys down there too. That round thing right in the middle and that round thing right in the middle. Like I say, we're going to cut all that crap out. And yeah, go from there. So I've got to get those O2 sensors out of there. But, oh dear God, I can see junk down inside the cat on that one. Anyway, all right guys, I'll bring y'all back when the new heads get here. All right, we are back. It's been 2 days. Yeah, record time actually. So we got the old heads off. They're right there with the manifolds. We're gonna leave the manifolds there. I am gonna pull them heads over and degrease those here in a few minutes. And we're also going to get the rest of the stuff out of here, degrease it, and go from there. Because that's a lot of grease in there. And I want to get all that cleaned up. Now, I know that's open right here on the front. That's fine. Because we got new oil and everything too. New Wix filter. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and spray all this, clean it up, make it look good, make it nice. And then we will drain the oil pan and get all that crap out. Whatever falls down in there can fall out with it. Now, I also want to show y'all this. I don't know how much you can see from up here, but down inside there, you see that filled up? That catalytic converter is completely stopped up. Yeah. So, that's all well and good. We're putting a new set of headers on here. As a matter of fact, they should be here today. I'm not real sure. But, so we're going to be putting long tube headers on this. I hope they fit just fine. I mean, I ordered them for this truck. Anyway, we'll be putting a set of long tubes on. And, so that's going to take care of the stupid catalytic converter issue because they're coming with a set of high flow cats. Check this out. Cylinder Head International, CHI is the name of this company, okay? They didn't cut me a break or nothing like that, so don't think that. But $400, $400 for brand new cylinder heads. Well, not brand new, remanufactured cylinder heads. They've been decked and everything. Look at that. So, that being said, we want to definitely give them a shout out. But yeah, so $400, guys. And then, of course, shipping, which, ironically enough, it was $400 plus $50 per head for shipping. So this whole deal totaled out to $900. Now, I've already opened the other box too, and on the inside flap is a little envelope thing in there. And it's the $50 that you pay for the head sends the old heads back as a core. Now, before we can do that, obviously, I've got to go through and get a few things off of those for this. But $450 per head. That is ridiculously cheap. But, you know, compared to like, who was I looking at? Trick Flow. And I'm not saying anything against Trick Flow. I'm a fan of Trick Flow. I really am. I like Trick Flow heads. Matter of fact, oh no, those are Flotex. But anyway, pretty much the same thing. Somebody in the comments gonna let me know, no, it's not. Anyhow, aftermarket heads are aftermarket heads. You know, it depends on what you want to go with. But guys, these heads, these two valves was made with a good enough flowing head that you get very substantial gains just from a cam change. So, just saying. And I mean, you call the guy, you tell him what your casting number is on your head, and that's what they send you. I mean, I don't think them cams are remanufactured. They don't, I mean, they might be, but they look brand hammer new. So, anyway, enough talking. Let's get to degreasing and then get to putting a set of heads on the supercharged F-150. And yeah, you would definitely, if you order a set of heads from them, definitely want to hold on to your bag and hold on to your styrofoam, because you're going to want to send the other heads back, because that's part of it. So, but yeah, CHI for the win. Cylinder Head International, guys. Really nice people and quick. I ordered them heads the day before yesterday. So 2 days. Well, I ordered them the day before yesterday and they showed up yesterday. So overnight shipping, I guess. Not bad. That's pretty awesome. So anyway, all right, let's get to work. So we got the original head sitting here. I just sprayed them down with the Super Clean foam. I got the engine here sprayed down with the Super Clean foam. Matter of fact, I emptied that can of Super Clean foam. So now we're gonna ease back into the shop here, and I've got the gallon jug here of the Super Clean. We're gonna go ahead and fill these up so that way I can spray it again and use the foaming head to help it kind of hang on a little bit longer. And then we'll get to spraying and all that stuff and dumping the oil out of it. But yeah, and we're cleaning these heads up just because I have to get certain parts off of them to go on the other heads and all that jazz. So yeah, that's where we're at. But I just want to show y'all what we're going to be cleaning all this with is Super Clean, the #1 cleaner that I use on my channel, and the only sponsor that Brian's Custom Auto and American Auto has. So, and guys, I'm gonna tell you, they have been a good sponsor. They've been a really good sponsor. I've been a crappy sponsee, I guess, because I don't make videos on Super Clean all the time like I used to. But when I have to use it on something like this, I definitely want to show you guys, because like, there's no way to describe how good this stuff works. It's yeah. Anyway, so let's get the jugs filled up and keep on spraying and praying. All right, so we got it cleaned up. I went ahead and sprayed it down with some WD-40, the gel lube there, just to keep any kind of flash rust down. You know, just because. Now, next goal is to get this truck moved up here onto the concrete. Get the oil change pan out. Oh, get the rock out of my shoe. And we're going to go ahead and drop the oil out the bottom of this thing and go ahead and start getting the heads put on it. By the way, I'll give you a better look at the heads now that they're sitting in here. Look at there. They are gorgeous. I had to pull this bracket off, and I had to pull the sensor off and put in this one. But there they are. And I mean, they are beautiful, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So there they are, and they're all set and ready to go. So we'll get them put on there. Actually, I want to do one thing first, because there's the cams sitting right there for the Lightning. Let me get up my caliper, and I just want to see what the height difference is on this one to that one on the cam lobes. But outside of that, we're going to go ahead and get them on the truck. So I measured it out on the 5th lobe back on this one here, and then same on that one, and the same on those, and it come up to 7.098. So on all 3 of them. So it's dead perfect. Actually, them springs look a little more stout than what was in that other head, but probably not. Probably just my imagination. And guys, I didn't get the studs out of those other heads because we're putting headers on, which means they get header bolts. So let's start doing our job. I got to get them head gaskets out and see if I need to spray them with the copper spray. So yeah, let's do that. So I failed to mention something before. I ordered these tools off of Amazon. This right here. This and the cam locks, which is these guys right here. That's to lock your cams in place so that way they don't turn while you're setting the head and everything. But this, when you're having to set your timing for this, and it's very important you do this, is you've got to bring number 1 up to top dead center. Okay? Now, as you can see, top dead center is actually down a little bit, which is a good thing for us. We're using an oversized head gasket and it's down a hair, so that gives us room. But it's very important that when you get down to this point that you have your cam tool. And how this works is real simple. You see you got a keyway on there? All right. See if I can move some of this stuff out of the way. Gotta slide this on here, like so. And see this dowel right here? That's what you're aiming for, okay? And it sets on there just like that. And that will stay there and keep any of this from moving, okay? And you'll want that to stay there. But before we do that, I am going to put me some paper towels in down here because we don't want nothing else getting in there because I've already drained the oil and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and cover that up so nothing gets in there, and then we'll put that back on. Then we'll start setting our head gasket and all that. Also, guys, I'll tell you this. I am not a professional on these Triton engines. So yes, you can Google a lot of information, but the information is not super clear. So when the guy brought me the truck, I told him I was not a professional on these engines. It's too new. So what did he do? He went out and bought a Haynes manual. Now, people will make jokes about it because I guess they're smarter than I am. You know, there's some people in the world, forgive the camera, it's greasy. So are my hands. But there's people in this world that are absolutely 100 times smarter than everybody. It don't matter how smart you are. They're in their mom's basement typing on a keyboard and they're smarter than you are, and you're stupid if you have a Haynes manual. So I guess I'm stupid. But that Haynes manual gives me all the torque specs I need. If I need to know what these head gaskets torque down to, guess what? I know that now. And had I not had that, I wouldn't have known. I would have been doing it like a small block Chevy. But the fact is, it don't work that way. You have to torque this down to 30 foot-pounds, and then you have to go 90 degrees in sequence. And then once you finish that, you have to do another 90 degrees in sequence. That's your torque. So how many foot-pounds is that? Does anybody know? You also have to use new head bolts. So, you know, there's certain things that this book will tell you that you can't find online. So here's your online class. So we'll go through that and I'll show you as I'm doing it, but I'm doing it according to the Haynes manual because I did not know. So I don't know. There's guys out there who specialize in these engines who could tell me that. but I don't know any of them offhand, so I have nobody to call and ask. Okay? But if you're that guy that wants to give me shit for, reading it out of a book, then go for it. Give me all the crap you want to. I don't care. I do not care. I know how to read, and I got enough sense to know when something's smarter than me. So, anyway, let's get these heads on here. All right, guys. Next day, got the engine cleaned up yesterday. I actually sprayed the whole truck off, although you really can't tell. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and torque the heads down. Blah, blah. And I'll show you how we're going to do that. Like I said, reading in the book here, it says you got to go to 30 foot-pounds and then 90 degrees and then 90 degrees. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that with one tool. I love modern day tools. So what we've got here is our Quinn Harbor Freight torque wrench. Okay, 1/2 inch drive. And you would think it's nothing special, but it really is. And I'll show you what I mean. Now, whenever you turn this on, you want to turn it on inside the case, setting on a level surface, because every time you power it up, it recalibrates. So, we're going to do that. It's recalibrating. I've already got it set to 30 pounds because I've already done the other side head. Okay? Now, we're going to go out here, torque these down to 30 foot-pounds. Okay? In your sequence. So, you'll go top, bottom, star pattern, star pattern. Okay? Now, then it says you got to go to 90 degrees. So for that, you'll hit this little button here. Hit it again, hit it again. Okay. Wait a minute, wrong button, sorry. Bottom button. Right there. See how it just did the zeros? It was recalibrating. Anyway, it's set to 90 degrees. Now, what's cool about this is because this is made to be able to torque angle your bolts, but like on this truck with the heads inside the bay, yeah, you ain't gonna be able to get one solid steady swoop on that. The torque wrench allows you to ratchet it to your torque angle. And I will show you how I know how good it works is because as an extra measure, I dotted all my bolts. So, like I said, this side is done. But you can see top and bottom is dotted. Alright? Overlook that red down there. I cut the crap out of myself yesterday, so that's not oil already in the head, that's blood. Anyhow, so, we're going to move on to this side. And, yeah. I'll bring it back and show you how good it works when you're doing torque angle. But we'll go ahead and torque this down to the 30 foot-pounds, and I'll bring you back in just a minute. All right, so I got y'all set up on the thing where you can see all this. I've got my torque wrench laying in there. Now, let me get my fat behind up here. I've already got them torqued to the 30. So now what we need to do is just go through and mark all the bolts. And all I'm using is a paint writer, and all I'm gonna do is put a straight line down on this set, like that. I can see it. All right, and then on the bottom ones we'll go a different direction here. Hang on, let me get a flashlight because I can't see that one back there. Alright. My head's probably gonna get in the way. I'm sorry, guys. There. There. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. got our marks on there. So, let that dry for just a second. Let's get our torque wrench back out. And the reason you want to put the marks on there is because if you're doing this and get called away or have to stop or anything like that, when you come back, you can see which direction your lines are facing. That's why you don't want to put a straight mark all the way across, because we're going 180 degrees total. So you just put it on one end and you can see 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees. If you put a straight line all the way across, it's going to look exactly the same as if you didn't touch it at all. So at least this way you can check your progression as you're doing it. It'll all make sense here in just a second. All right. Foot-pounds. Let's get to my torque angle right there. And we're calibrated. We're good to go. Now then, as I said, at this point, you can do this. There's 90. Get on this bolt here, reset that, and here we go. And there's 90. See how that works? So that, you always got to remember to reset it though. And to this guy. Damn, got there on that one quick. Got this guy here. This guy here. And then if I need to stop here a second for any reason, I can walk away and then come back and realize that I have not gotten this one, but I have gotten all them. Okay? Oh, sorry guys. But we're not stopping. Go ahead and get that aggravating one back there. See what I mean about having room? We're at 78, 79. There we are. Come back up to this one. Same thing. Top one here. set. And then this one. Now, that should be all of them. I'm gonna move around here to the side to where I can see, make sure they're all the same way. They are. Great. Now, and that's how you do that. Make sure you get grease on your head, your hands, your face, and everything else. But that's how you do that. Now, I've got to go back through and redo them one more time at the 90 degrees. But at that point, the heads are torqued down. That's all there is to it, guys. That's what the book calls for. And it says to do it in that pattern, in that order, and that's what we did. So it's got to be right, right? Well, I guess we'll find out. Anyway, guys, so I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. At this point, we've got the cam locks on, both sides. We've already got the cam set. That one's at 12 o'clock. This one's at roughly 11 o'clock, according to all that. There's the other tool already set on the cam dowel, or on the crank dowel, like it's supposed to be. So, yeah. Now we got to start building this backwards from the way it came apart. Which means, first thing first is the new tensioners, or new guides and tensioners and all that stuff. So let's put it on there. Go. We got 2 timing chains on. So by this measure, by all this together, this should be completely 110% in time. So yeah. Now it's time to wash my hands and go get some Permatex, because I didn't get none the other day. But that's okay, it gives me a chance to ride the Harley a minute. And it's just pretty enough out to ride the Harley with jeans on instead of shorts. So let's go get some Permatex, and we'll be right back to continue putting this thing together. All right, guys, I apologize. We were trying to get this done, but unfortunately, we are still waiting on parts. We are waiting on the intake manifold gaskets and the headers to get here. So in the next video, we will be completing the rebuild of the engine, and the next video probably will not be quite as long as this one. The headers are on their way. They should be here in a couple days. Intake manifold gaskets will be here tomorrow. So, that being said, I promise, guys, this should be the last video on working on this engine. In the next video, we'll end that one off with some burnouts. That's the plan, and I'm gonna do it one way or another. It might be with transmission fluid on the tires, but we're gonna be doing burnouts. Anyhow, so do me a favor, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and yeah, stick through to the next video. I promise it'll be worthwhile. And also make sure you're following my shorts. 97% of my views are from people who are not subscribed. So let's see if we can change that. And yeah, we're almost there, guys. Let's see if we can get to that 2,000 mark. Anyway, that being said, guys, we're going to move on. We're going to get back on the OBS Chevy very soon. But as for right now, we're trying to knock that truck out. So we're going to get it knocked out in the next video. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. See you.